Good evening, everyone, and thank you all for attending. I would like to call to order the Whittingham Homeowners Association, Greenbriar Whittingham Association Joint Board Meeting for Monday, December 16th, 2000. Please rise for a call to order and to a pledge of allegiance. Okay. All righty. Matt, could you please give us a roll call, please?
Sure. Tom Clark,
Here.
Jay Respler, Bob Brown, Kathy Dodano, absent. Joe Atanasio,
Here.
Kathy Clark and Gleason, and Jeff Simonson. Thanks. And our Greenbriar friends, Mark Sirks, Chester Trubinsky, Wayne Baruch, Alan Greenberg in the back, and don't see Jack Sandler on Zoom. Thanks. And I'm here, Kristen's here, and Susie is here.
All righty. Do you have any report for us, Matt?
I sure do. Same things as last week. We talked about the Whittingham roof project. We're still going with that as weather permits. Looks like we may be able to get another smaller building in this week, weather permitting. So we'll just keep rolling with that. The indoor pool heater, thank God we replaced it on Friday, a little bit ahead of schedule. So checked it this morning and it's about 84 degrees. So back to normal almost. We've lined up some power washing for the springtime for the condo buildings. So we'll keep you posted when that's going to start. And this winter, we're working on a bunch of bids. Pickleball and tennis courts, already got one bid, waiting for another, and we'll be getting a third. Also looking at seal coating in Whittingham, the driveways, which haven't been done for a while, and the privacy fences we've been talking about for a while. So we're hopefully going to get all that stuff in line and get some things lined up for you guys in the springtime. Okay. And just want to take a quick moment to wish everybody happy holidays. And everyone from First Service, thanks you guys for your patience over the last 6 months since we went through this transition. So thank you. And I'm going to turn it over to Kristen.
Hey, Matt, one quick question.
Sure.
Has the pool been reconverted to chlorine from salt?
Ooh, good question, Joe. I'm sorry I left that out. Yes, the pool is no longer a salt pool. We have converted back to chlorine, so hopefully we don't have any issues with corrosion in our pool heaters and equipment.
Very good. Thank you.
Yep.
Out of order.
Kristen, do you have any recreation report, please?
Yes. So our Christmas Day Atlantic City has been canceled because not enough people signed up. I'll probably do away with that next year because last year it didn't go either. Our next casino bus trip is to Parks Casino on January 8th. It's on sale now. Our next bus trip to Atlantic City is February 5th, on sale now. This Wednesday, we have a health lecture at 1 p.m. in the ballroom. The topic is a guide to financial wellness and safety during the holiday season. There's no charge, but please sign up with the concierge. On Sunday, December 29th, we have a movie in the ballroom at 1 p.m., which is a documentary of Elvis Presley, Return of the King, The Fall and Rise of Elvis Presley. On January 26th, we have our James Taylor era tribute at 3 p.m. Tickets are selling well, so if you want to attend, make sure you get your tickets. Bob Scott's game show will return to our community in the ballroom on Tuesday, February 4th at 6:30 p.m. A flyer will be available early January, so watch for that. And if you haven't already, be sure to pick up our 2025 Save the Dates for our shows that are held in the ballroom. We have a great lineup through April of 2025 as of now. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Chris. All right, I'm going to turn it over for Greenbriar. You have Mark, Joe, all yours.
We don't really have anything to report that's new.
We're gonna vote, well, we have to vote on last month's minutes. Want to do that?
Let's go, Mark. You guys ready? The approval of,
Yep, go ahead.
first is the approval of the November 26th joint open meeting minutes. We got a motion?
Make a motion, we approve the minutes. All in
Okay.
favor?
Second. All right, let's take roll. Mark Cirques,
Yes?
Chester Trubinsky, Wayne Baruch, and Alan Greenberg. Thank you. Still don't see Jack on Zoom.
Okay, we have another
Nick-
approval of minutes.
Yep, next is the December 2nd special open meeting minutes where both boards approved the budget. And do I have a motion for that, Mark?
Make a motion, we approve those minutes as well.
All right, let's take roll. Mark Cirques,
Yes?
Chester Trubinsky, Wayne Baruch, and Alan Greenberg. Thank you.
I have to say, this is the best board for approving minutes that ever existed. We are great at that.
Yes, agreed.
Okay. The parking rules are going to be introduced by you? Yeah. Yeah, we're gonna approve the parking rules together with the,
Okay, good.
and with that, we're done.
And I'll pick it up. We're gonna approve the November 26th, 2024 joint open meeting minutes for the WOA. Do I have a motion to approve? Moved by Jay, second by Joe. Okay, can I have a roll call?
Okay, Tom Clark,
Yes.
Jay Resper, Bob Brown, Joe Atanasio,
Yes.
Kathy Clark and Gleason, and Jeff Simonson.
And approval of the November 2nd, 2024 special open meeting minutes. All right, second. Roll
All
call.
right. Tom Clark,
Yes.
Jay Resper, Bob Brown, Joe Atanasio,
Yes.
Kathy Clark and Gleason, and Jeff Simonson.
Okay, so, let's move on to the parking rules. As you know, we, had discussion about this item at last week's workshop meeting. And, there were some modifications made. Copies reflect those changes that were made. So, does anyone on the board have any comment before I open it up to the? After we get comment, we'll move it.
As we talk about these rules, one important part of rules is how are they going to be enforced? How are they going to be documented? If someone appeals, that appeal would go through our respective covenants committees. And that respective covenants committee would then have to have security, I guess, the security guard who made the citation say, I observed so-and-so's vehicle, such and such day, such and such time, such and such location. Here are the photographs, front of the car, back of the car, distance from the curb, clearly unambiguously measured. We're going to have to put that process in place if this thing is to be enforceable.
Jay, do you have any comment on what?
We will set up the rules now, and then, as a separate thing, we decide how to enforce them. Can't put that as part of the rules.
The whole process has to be clearly documented so that our homeowners and we, obviously, as homeowners in the community, can comply with these rules.
All right, well, the rules will be adopted by the board. The rules have been for 2 weeks submitted to all the homeowners for review and comment. Tonight will be the second comment. If there's any further recommendations from the audience to make changes to what the document says, we will do so. If it makes sense, it'll be moved tonight, seconded, and approved. As far as the enforcement, I mean, we're not going to be issuing new enforcement rules. We're going to be following pretty much the model that's been here for the last 40 years. that if it a problem, the homeowner will call security, file a complaint about the parking issue, and security will address the issue. We're not going to randomly have our security driving around, measuring cars from curbs and other things. We need to have all this stuff on the books for that reason if there's a complaint. So that's why it's there. But we're not going to be driving around. The reason this is even under review is because what happened in May when we had a security officer who got a little too zealous in regards to their responsibility and wrote 140 tickets in 2 days, where we haven't had 140 tickets probably in 40 years. So we had to address the issue, and we did. And so we've modified some of the rules to make them more realistic. We've even taken some of them out. And we're going to continue what's made this community work for the last 40 years. I'm not looking to reinvent the wheel. The wheel's running pretty smoothly here, so I'm not going to change that. But certainly, recommendations on how to improve some of these rules has been recommended by the committee. Is always open for discussion. So, in saying so, that's pretty much where we are, Wayne. Any other comment from the board member? Okay. All right. Do you want to, Jay, would you like to go over the changes that were made from last week?
Two changes that were two. The two changes that were made were item number 2. There was objection to that, so we eliminated that entirely. And the other change, residents. Parking or standing on any roadway that restricts the flow of vehicular traffic in any way is prohibited. Since that was too vague and it was open to interpretation, we decided to remove that altogether because all the other rules would be more specific about that. The other change was what was in 19 is now 18. Short-term parking, we had it not to exceed 1 week, and residents asked for 2 weeks, so we changed it so that short-term parking is not to exceed 2 weeks. This was done at residents' request. All the other things stay the same.
Board members?
No.
Okay, so at this point, I'll open it up to the homeowners. If you have comment on what's on the paper before you, please come up to the microphone and state your name and your address and make it part of the record.
Mark, your little sports car was made illegal.
'67 Birmingham. No parking within 10 feet.
Speak close into the mic. We've had some
Okay.
complaints from the Zoom
Okay,
participants.
thank you. No parking within 10 feet of the fire hydrants, or parking near the mailboxes. Therefore, anyone that has a fire hydrant in front of their house cannot have any parking in front of their house because there's no way you can get 10 feet between the fire hydrant and the mailbox. So therefore, there's no parking for anyone who has who's stuck with a fire hydrant in their house.
Mark,
Next-
is fire hydrants new to you?
Yeah, no, but if you take a look at the way the yellow lines are marked right now, you can still get a car in between the driveways and the mailboxes and the fire hydrant. It's still, there's less than 10 feet there on both sides of it. So you're saying there's 20 feet from one end of the parking area to the other, okay? The next thing is residents parking, overnight parking allowed on the street?
That's this one first, the hydrant,
Yeah.
okay?
Okay.
If you look at the rule, it says this violation shall only be enforced upon receipt of a complaint from the resident
I don't see
impacted.
that on the paper that I picked up the thing.
Okay.
If I saw that
Okay,
picked
I
up on the
understand
paper, I
that, but
wouldn't have said that.
he's addressing the mailbox as well.
Okay, if that's the way it is, that's fine.
Okay, that's the way it is.
That's the way it
Okay,
is.
all right.
So in other words, if you want to park in front of your mailbox and you don't park in front of the pump, That's up to you. You don't get your mail. That's fine with
I'm not
me.
gonna complain if I
Okay,
park in front
there
of my
you
mailbox.
Thank you.
Thank you. If that's the way, could we rewrite the rule to say, if the resident complains? The paper I picked up says rule number 1, parking on any roadway
no, I'm
within 10
talking
feet,
about
10
number
feet of a
10.
fire hydrant is prohibited.
I'm talking about number 10. Look at number 10.
I got number 10,
which
but
is
what
the
I'm
mailbox.
talking about number 1.
If you're parking in front of a fire hydrant,
I'm not, I'm saying within 10 feet.
Number 1 stays the same. No parking in front of a fire hydrant. That's the same universally. But the other part. that
Doesn't
Jen
say in
mentioned-
front of the fire hydrant. It says within 10 feet of the fire hydrant. So that's within 20 feet of a fire hydrant from one end to the other. And that's between driveway to driveway on most of the streets in Greenbriar.
The one thing is you got to recognize that these fire trucks that come into our community, should they have to come in, probably exceed 20 feet. And if they're going to be effective in trying to do their job, trying to make it too short is only going to inhibit their ability to put fires out.
I think the bottom line is if you parked in front of a fire hydrant or in front of a mailbox and you're within 10 feet of the hydrant, it's illegal.
Okay, next item. Can a resident park overnight in the street?
Permit.
A
No,
resident?
resident's fine.
a resident
Except in
can
a
park-
snow emergency.
Huh?
Except in a snow emergency.
Okay,
Thank you.
Hello, Dale Blum, 7 Wellfleet. Question on parking on snow. On a snow event, you can't park on the streets. So in the past, I've always taken my car to where the gardens are and just parked for whatever the amount of days. Do we have to get a written permit from management upstairs and put it on our windshield? You're all shaky. So how long can we keep our car for snow? Because sometimes there's it snows for a couple of days and you can't remove it.
The snow rule is according to what management says. When management says the snow rule is in effect, so then there's no parking on the street. When they say that the streets have been cleared, that's when you can park.
No,
So it'll be up to
remove-
management to declare when the snow emergency starts and ends.
No, to remove the car when because last time I think they didn't give us enough notice to move the car into those lots. You know, the one by the gardens. Can they give us a little bit more time, like a day?
I think what you're asking is if you parked your car in the parking lot and management declared that the streets have been cleared, the drives have been cleared, how long do you have to move your car out of the parking lot?
Correct.
That's up to you.
Okay, so there's no
I mean,
time.
you want to wait for the spring thaw. I don't think that's right. But
Okay.
you really need your car, you go get it.
Okay,
Thank
the
you.
second question is, I know myself and other people, we go away from anywhere from 2, 3 weeks or a month. And I know I've had the question answered. For 2 weeks, I'll get a written permission. Now, sometimes I go away for a month. Do I have to pay for long-term parking for a month?
No. Well, if you have room in your driveway, leave it in your driveway.
But
if-
I don't have a
But
drive.
if you don't, you speak to the management, you let them know your situation, and you'll be fine to stay there. As long as they know about it, that's the key.
Okay, and I still got to get the permit and they'll,
Yes.
okay, thank you.
Question is on something like that, if she's parked on the street and she's away for a month,
No, I take it off the street, up in the
okay.
parking lot.
If it snows, then
In
what?
the winter,
Okay,
right.
Got it. Thank you.
Thank you.
About the color of the yellow. All right. When about 4 months ago, one of our neighbors painted yellow around the fire hydrants and around the turns around on Ramsey and York. Yes, because there was no yellow there, but we painted it a different yellow than the yellow that you have. So therefore, is the yellow that you supposedly painted all over the community is enforceable, but the other yellow may not be because you didn't paint it, even
If-
though we complained
If you have
about
the
it.
address of that particular piece of curb that was painted in the wrong color yellow, please let someone know.
I just did. Ramsey, and York Court.
Thank
And-
you so much.
Yeah, we are doing yellow painting. We are, as a community, doing some painting and refreshing and adding a few curves to the yellow paint. But we use the standard, whatever they call safety yellow, whatever it's called, for curbing. If there's some rogue homeowner doing it, that's news to us.
Well, we had to do it because the community did not do it.
I see some yellow paint on your shirt there, Jay.
This
Can't prove
is
nothing. He wore
the
gloves.
Buffalo Bills starter jacket since I've been a fan of theirs since 1968. But where is the yellow? I know other people who are cowards.
We'll find out if there's a. We'll check under people's fingernails.
Okay. All right. Thank you. Management will look into that. Is there any other comment from the audience? Seeing none, I will close the public portion. Oh, I'm sorry. We have Zoom. So any comments from Zoom?
Okay, so this question is from Len Marcoux at 50A Winthrop. I don't understand why we have rules without enforcement. We live in a community that many residents don't pay attention to speed limits, and stop signs are mere suggestions. You state that we will apparently rely on residents to complain about parking violations to take any action. Why would the security team not question cars that are obviously parked illegally? I understand we had one overzealous officer last May, but why should that stop a reasonable officer from citing an obvious parking issue?
I'll answer part of that. Yes, we do enforce it, but it's on a complaint basis.
Okay. Tom, do you want any other questions from Zoom on other topics, or you want to wait till the end?
The public will wait to the end.
Okay.
Just this topic right now. That's it? That's all you have for the parking? All right. I will entertain a motion to approve this by the board. Do we want to do this as a joint board on this? Yeah. Okay. All right. So I have a motion by Jay, second by who?
Joe,
Joe. Okay. So Matt, please roll call for the two boards.
Sure. Tom Clark,
Yes.
Jay Resper, Bob Brown, Joe Atanasio,
yes.
Kathy Clark and Gleason, Jeff Simonson, and the Greenbriar Board, Mark Sirks,
Yes.
Chester Trubinsky, Wayne Baruch, and Alan Greenberg. Thanks.
Okay. All right. Committee reports. I'm going to turn it all back over to Greenbriar so they can go through their reports.
We don't really have committee reports. Budget and Finance is, of course, hibernating this time of year. Covenants hasn't met in some time. I'm reading wrong column, entertainment. Site review, you want to discuss some of the new items on site review? Before we just get into that, I do want to say that the Greenbriar Board met and discussed the makeup of the new committees for 2025. Those folks who have put in an application, and we were grateful. There were quite a few folks that stepped up and said, I want to help. And everybody who put in an application to help was placed in one position or another. Some people requested to be on two committees, but they were only put on one committee. But I believe everybody or almost everybody was put somewhere on a committee. And letters to that effect will be going out, letting you know what committees you were placed on and so on very shortly. Emails, I guess, will be coming out from that. Okay, go ahead, Chester.
The Greenbriar Site Review Committee met on December 3rd. It was a rather light schedule. 5 new applications were received, testing to the fact that most people are leaving the community for Florida, etc. 11 inspections were undertaken, so we're current at this moment. Thank you.
Hey, Alan, you got something? Before you go on that, I just want to thank you for inviting us all to your wine tasting. Is that what it's here for?
It's yeah, right. It's the wine club. So everybody's invited. You can come to our next meeting. And if you want, you can even come to this one because we have a few extra seats. So I just wanted to add for newcomers, because I know it was on the agenda. My apologies. I'm setting up for this club event, which was supposed to be upstairs in the poker room, but with the elevator issue, we can't be there. That's why we're here. So my apologies if I'm a little crazy. Newcomers, there's really nothing new to report. We haven't had a meeting. We did have a session last month, which I reported on, and there probably won't be much to talk about for another couple months. And please join us at the meeting.
Okay, we'll go to the WOA reports. First of all, the WOA board also met and went through its committee's assignments. And just like Mark stated on his end, we've had some boards more interest than the people we could actually place on those boards. So we did try to make an effort as well to see that we could get most of the people onto a board that they expressed interest in, but some there was just overwhelming interest, and obviously I can't have a board of 22 people. Nothing would ever get accomplished. So we kept the numbers to the same that have been in existence for the past couple of years, not to let them grow too big. So people who were placed on through the WOA process will be getting letters as well, probably next week sometime. All right.
Yep, Susie
already went
already
out?
got those out.
Then they're out. They might already know what board they're on. All right. Kathy is not here tonight. I don't have a budget and finance report. I don't believe she had anything very active since we just completed the budget cycle. So we'll have more information for you in January when we begin the process all over again. Covenants, any report on the covenants?
Did not have to meet.
All right. No business for the covenants. Entertainment committee?
Kristen went over everything already, so everything's in the works, so we're in good shape.
All right, thank you. Landscape committee, I think it's Kathy's committee. She's not here tonight. I'm not aware of anything that was new or different than's been reported.
No, they haven't met in a month or two. They're taking a hiatus for the winter months.
Okay. Hard to get grass to grow in snow, so, all right. Site review committee,
Nothing new since December 3rd.
nothing new to report there, no, okay. And the town center committee. Rini, do you have a report for us? Thank you.
Good evening. The Town Center Committee met last Thursday, December 12th. A good meeting and a lot of discussions on many
Rini, can you get a
topics.
little closer to the mic?
Oh, you know what, I have to push it back there.
No?
The indoor pool is fixed, as was reported just recently by Matt. The large bulletin board that is across from the entrance to the restaurant, which always had poor lighting, nobody could really read it, is being moved tomorrow down toward the water fountain, nice and bright area, larger area, and a lot of the room that's there from so many repetitive activities that have flyers nearby will be taken down, so that the suggestion at the last board meeting that from someone on Zoom, that a place be given to people who would like to sell something. No house sales or rentals, please, but things that they couldn't carry up to the parking lot or have something to sell, could advertise right there, and anybody interested could call. An attempt to apply tint to the windows in the indoor pool didn't work well, apparently. Jay would have more information on that. Apparently, what was applied didn't adhere well and started peeling. Ballroom dance floor is still taped to the carpet, especially across the back there, as well as some tape outside of the all-purpose room where the tiles were lifting. That was applied, that flooring was applied not very long ago. And the company who apparently applied them should be called back to do a better job. The carpet going into the all-purpose room is shredding at that area. Either it needs some kind of a saddle on it or better installation. The parts for the elevator are on order and will be back to working soon. The storage area in the basement will be cleaned and painted as well. And the lack of egress is a subject that must be addressed in the future. It's a major safety issue in this building. On a brighter note, very economical and attractive canvas.
Rini, you got to speak closer to the mic or louder because we're having trouble hearing you.
The problem is my age and the eyesight to get my closer to the mic. Okay, we'll give it a try. On a brighter note, the very economical and very attractive black and white canvas paintings are being ordered. And when I tell you very economical, they are very. They were approved by the board, and once hung, it will be enjoyed for many years because the black and white and shades of gray will match any new carpeting that could be put down in the future or any wall paintings. Finally, a lot has been accomplished this year by this very great, my great fellow committee members. And on behalf of them and me, we wish you all very happy holidays and a happy and healthy new year.
All right. Thank you, Rini.
You're welcome.
Matt, are you aware of the conditions with the carpeting that Minnie brought up in her report?
Yeah, we were actually just looking behind us at it, so we're gonna figure out who installed it and see what we can do to get it fixed.
All right. And you do have an issue over here in the room here with the border going around. Some of it's being taped to be held down. So there's going to be a lot of activity here in a couple of weeks. Could we see if we can get that taken care of?
Will do.
I appreciate it. Okay, that brings us to our famous open forum portion. If anyone would like to speak about anything other than the parking, which we already discussed, please feel free to come up and speak at this time. Gotta get a detour.
Good evening, everybody. Bob Fossack, 138 Chichester. First, Greenbriar. Has anything been brought up or talked about? Because it's been about 6 months since I brought up an issue with Sightline over at Harwood and Chichester and Whittingham. And I thought something went on where the lower board maybe asked Greenbriar or something to make those improvements. It's been over 6 months and nothing's been done. Can we have an update on that?
If you're talking, no, we looked at Leeds and Whittingham. You're talking about Harwood and Whittingham?
Yeah, Harwood and Whittingham.
And the sight line there was improved some time ago where the person that lives on the corner of Harwood and Whittingham, it changed ownership and the new owners allowed us to make modifications to their hedges that run along Whittingham so as to make for a better sight line for people who were coming along Harwood. That was done some time ago. There's nothing further I'm anticipating from that.
Well,
is that what you're talking about, Harwood?
that's not my understanding.
We know of anything else?
Yeah. Bob had mentioned, and Bob and I have talked on various occasions about traffic safety in the community. As you know, Bob is a retired police officer. And he had recommended that the stop line at those two streets, the intersection of Chichester and Whittingham, and at Harwood and Whittingham, be moved closer to Whittingham, so that somebody stopping at that line would then would have a better view of oncoming traffic. I think we
Okay,
talked
that
about that.
that I remember discussing, and personally, just speaking for myself, I like the idea. The one thing, when I drove over and looked at it with my own eyes, it occurred to me that while you can move the stop sign forward, we did paint the crosswalk forward to give the illusion, let's say, that you can stop further along Harwood, closer in toward Whittingham. By moving the crosswalk, I think we did, as I say, at least give the illusion that the stop is forward. But the stop sign I looked at, and I realized to move the stop sign forward would have to put it out into onto the pavement, onto the macadam, onto the blacktop.
All right, Mark,
because the curb.
Mark, may I interrupt you for a second? I went out with Jay Ressler and Matt,
Right.
and we talked about that. And from my understanding from Jay, it was given to you, to Greenbriar.
Yes,
And that was over 6 months ago, and nothing's been done or heard from.
to move the,
And you're talking about something that's already been covered with myself, Jay, and Matt
Okay,
about the white line that's there and the stop sign. So
Okay, but what
I'm just surprised you're not aware of it.
That's the diagram that I gave you.
you shouldn't be surprised. There's a whole lot of things I'm not aware of. The stop line could be moved, but if the stop sign isn't moved as well, have you accomplished what you're trying to accomplish?
The accomplishment was a lot of people in this community, the law is at a stop sign. You must stop within 5 feet of the crosswalk or stop line. We have both. Take that darn line out of there
Okay,
and move a little line thin right up by the crosswalk. You're going to gain about 6 or 8 feet.
okay.
All right.
I
And the
have no
stop-
issue with
the stop-
that.
The stop sign can remain where it is, but my suggestion was move it a little bit closer to the corner. And all
Yeah,
you
there's
need-
not much room for the stop sign does not have much room.
Let's forget the
into it.
stop sign. The stop sign, you can
Okay,
have it
so
10
you're
feet
not-
away.
Okay, so
It's
you're
the
saying,
line.
okay, you're saying if we simply move the line, I don't see any issue with that. Yeah,
This
let's
was
just
already
do it.
done, Jay.
And we could do it on Harwood as well.
Uh,
But moving the stop sign, I looked at it, became problematic. And personally, it just didn't occur to me that you could do one without the other.
Okay.
That you would have people being
Jay,
able
could-
to stop forward of the stop sign and that still be, appropriate.
Well, then get out there and do it.
Yeah. All right.
Jay, anything to add on? I mean, it was under my impression that you or your board mentioned that to Greenbriar?
Yes, they did. I'm aware of it.
Oh,
But as
okay.
I said, when I went out to look
But
at it,
nothing's,
I
who are you?
scratched my
But
head.
who are you? Who are you? What would you know about sight distance and sight line and stop lines and whatever? So
All right,
there
okay.
was something brought up that was 3 heads were together and everybody agreed to it, and it was given to you, and then you went out and looked and decided, well,
No, I mean,
what's
I didn't
going
look
on?
and just unilaterally make a decision. I went out, I looked at the circumstances, I came back and discussed it, and I said, there is no place. I mentioned this to Wayne, that there is no place to move the stop sign forward because it would then put the stop sign out into the street. It would be it would be an obstacle to traffic.
No, the stop sign would be moved closer to, in this case, Whittingham Drive, and that would accomplish what Bob is talking about, as well as.
Okay.
Well, and then my other thing would be, if you went out and looked at it and you thought that, why didn't you get back to Matt or Jay or me or somebody about it? It's been over 6
I
months.
didn't know I reported to you and Matt and Jay. I brought it back to my board.
Well, it'd be
Okay,
nice if you did.
all right,
It'd be
let-
nice if you did, because there are people in this community that know a lot of things because of their
Okay,
occupations.
let
It
me,
would be nice if you weren't so rude to me as well.
let me try to expedite the conversation. So your recommendations been
It's been
okayed
over 6
by-
months.
Yeah, I think you
by
won your
everyone
argument.
involved, and management is okay in accomplishing that task. Is
Yeah,
that
we're
correct?
going to move the stop sign forward.
Right.
Jay Sinkoff, if you have more paint, would you take care of that?
Yeah.
Thank you.
And thank you. Thank you. And one last thing, I know we get emails, email blasts about the gates when they're closed and can't use it, and we get different things or whatever. I just have a question because it came up again. In November of 21, I had a large black bear at my back patio doors on the golf course. I reported that to Jamie the next day. Nothing was ever done about it. Not when it's in this community. No, because I called animal control. They said to notify your board. That's what they told me. About the week before Thanksgiving this year, my neighbor Dave had a bear at his front door. And from my understanding, he called the office. I don't know if, Matt, did you get any calls or messages?
I'm not aware of that one.
Okay. What do we do if that's a situation? Would we put something out to the community?
Well, listen, we can always put something out. Obviously, if we feel there's a danger for residents or something going on, we're gonna notify them immediately. But I'm not aware of what you were mentioning. The first time I'm hearing that.
Okay. All right. It does happen.
Okay.
But anyway. Okay. Thank you.
All right, thank you. All right, next speaker, please.
All right, Robert Blum, 7 Wellfleet. First of all, what I'm complaining about is on Chichester and Whittingham by the fourth hole, the opposite side that you're talking about, there's a big bush. You have to actually go all the way straight where you're over the lines to see if cars are coming. And I spoke to the gentleman once and he just ignored me. So if you want to just go look at it,
Who did you speak with?
someone on the street, I don't know if he lived there or not. But if you take a ride, I mentioned it to the board, at
Okay,
least
so-
someone on the board.
So you're saying there's a blind spot there that people can't
There's
see?
a big blind spot, there's a big bush, so you have to creak, go forward, and almost into Whittingham to see if there's any cars coming.
Okay, all right.
All you have
Matt?
to do is look at it.
All right, Matt, I'm gonna ask management to go out and take a look at that and let the board know if, that's such the case and if there's anything we can do with it.
All right, another thing is, another young lady mentioned she wants to put people that want to sell stuff on the wall. We used to have a book at the front desk. If you wanted to sell something, you put it in the book and you look in the book if you want to buy something. Why was that taken away?
I'm not even aware of that, I'll be honest with you.
Huh?
I'm not aware of it.
Oh, we've had it. I'm here 18 years. I'd say we had it at least 10 years ago.
All right. All right, it's a good recommendation. We'll look into it and see, what's the story on that.
All right, one more thing. Are you allowed to have garage sales in here?
Car sales?
Garage
Oh,
sales.
garage sales. Um,
Or my wife and I have been to sales in our development, at least 10 of them. What is it called? Estate sales. Are you allowed to have estate sales in here?
You know what? I'll be honest with you. I've seen a few of those myself. I don't know what the exact rules are on those. I don't know if there even are any. I mean, obviously, if
We've
people
been-
are selling things and people are coming in to look at it and they're telling people that come at the gate, they're coming to that address to see the particular something for sale. I don't know. there's an issue with that. I mean, why would I want to stop somebody from trying to sell their furniture or something?
Well, you don't know who's coming into our development.
Well, I never know who's ever coming in. It was a guest. I don't know their background. I'm not going to go into that.
But if you go on to estatesales.com or Central Jersey State Sales, they're all listed. So anybody, all you have to do is give the address and they'll let you right in. They're doing it.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, my wife and I have been to at least 10 in this development.
Okay.
I'm talking to other people. A lot of other people are here, not
Yeah.
us.
Well,
People with trucks, vans.
Yeah, I don't think this is a real big problem. This sounds like a solution in search of a problem to me. We don't have that many of them. And frankly, in a community where people, let's say, die, uh, it's incumbent upon us to allow their children to come in and liquidate their assets and move on. I don't think this is a big deal. Um, in terms of security, it's no stronger or weaker a condition than we normally have by and large anyhow. I just don't see it as a big deal. We do have estate sales. All the senior communities do. I've been to a number of them. I've been to them here. I've been to them elsewhere. It's just, if there have been circumstances that estate sales gave rise to a security problem, then we have a problem, but it just hasn't been.
Oh, I enjoy them. I just want to know if it's
Yeah.
legal in here. That's all.
Yeah, I believe we allow them. We've talked about them on our board in the past. I've always had a sense that everybody agreed it was something they wanted to continue. So we did.
Thank you.
all right. Thank you.
Jay Simkov to your court. I was talking to a friend of mine who's an attorney in real estate, and he says, and I most probably agree with him, that when an individual moves into our community, there has not been a change in HOA fees charged to the new owner in years.
It's been done.
When was the last time?
We just discussed that. When was that done? That was done maybe 3 or 4 years ago.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, it was
4 years
changed.
ago?
Excuse me?
When I was on the finance committee, I asked about it that was in June or July of 2020, when I was on
This
that
was after
committee,
2020.
and there was no change at that time.
The Greenbriar board did a deep dive into this topic with our attorney because the subject of the assessment fees that are paid by new homeowners is subject to the New Jersey condo laws, which state that the fee that you charge somebody to move in is a certain multiple of your monthly assessment. If you have a community where you charge $200 a month to live here, you can't charge $5,000 to move in. There's a relationship between the two that's clearly delineated in condo law. We are already maxed out. We've looked at this and we're getting every dime possible at this point. I assure you that. We looked at that as a resource. The WOA board looked at it as well, and the attorneys were crystal clear that we had to stay within that multiple of monthly assessments. The only way, in other words, to be able to raise that fee would be to raise our monthly assessments.
Our monthly assessment did go up January
Yes,
of
but
this year.
we're already actually maxed out beyond that.
But let me ask you this. Whittingham, which pays a higher monthly than Greenbriar, is their HOA buy-in fee higher or lower or the same?
I believe Whittingham is $2,500, isn't it? For new residents moving in?
No, what's it? I
So
don't have
what
my
is the
sheet on me.
actual
We
issue?
always forget this one.
What
One
is
of-
the actual issue here? What are you
I'm
complaining
trying
about?
to figure out how to get more. We need more money. we just had an increase of $20.
Yeah.
I heard we saved 117,000 by eliminating the nurse
Yes,
in the evening.
yes.
And other things we
Okay,
have
yes,
done.
we're all in
All right,
agreement. We've
so-
got financial problems. What is
and,
your specific
and the
issue?
new management group was supposed to save us money. So where have there been savings?
Well, there's downsides of following your recommendation because that's going to turn people off from wanting to buy into here if you raise it too high. That's
Yeah,
going to hurt the
well, I
property
know
values.
there are now properties in this development, in this HOA community, that are going for over 700,000.
Wow.
So if you can buy, and you can spend 700,000 and gut half of the place, I don't think an extra $2, $3, or $4,000 would be a detriment.
All right. Well, okay.
I guarantee
Or-
you on the Greenbriar side, we're maxed out. I assure you, I promise you. I've looked at it very carefully with our attorneys. And we're maxed out on the Greenbriar side. I don't know what the the Whittingham side is about.
All right.
Well, if they're under, they should adjust it accordingly.
They should look into it for sure. Yeah.
All right. All right. Well, thank you.
I have a couple things. One, and Kristen, I'm not sure if you mentioned, I'm doing a presentation here Thursday, the 19th at 2 p.m. Home Safety. Everybody is welcome to attend. That's through the Senior Social Club. Did we send a notice to everyone, or will we, about the new parking rules?
Yes, they already have that.
Oh, okay, okay. And finally, Jay and I, as we were coming into the building this evening, we're talking about the lines out here in our parking lot. And my question is, are we thinking at some point about repainting them?
We discussed that at our executive session. It'll be done in the spring. All right. All right. Well, I take some comments from Zoom. No, not quite yet. Not quite yet. What do you have for us from Zoom?
All right. Well, first I'm going to do two emails that I got from two residents, Mark Press, 15 Phillip Court, and Ed Pilser, 4 Phillip Court. They both had questions regarding the geese in the Chichester Pond. Apparently years ago, we used to have a contract where they would chase them with dogs. We were just talking about this before the meeting, and we're going to look into that and see see what solutions we can come up with and talk to our current provider and the golf course as well.
Yeah, that's the best recommendation. Okay. Any other comment?
Yeah, we got a couple. Susie, can you scroll back up for me, please? Okay, Saul Steinhauser, 11 Harwood, was asking about if we could clarify what improvements are being talked about to the tennis courts. Saul, I can tell you it's, milling and repaving them completely. They need
Yeah.
to be completely redone.
Yeah,
So
it's a
that's,
complete rebuild.
yeah, complete rebuild. So that's the specs we're looking at. Actually, let's stay on this too. Saul is also asking about the status or any changes in the Comcast contract.
Everything is the same. Nothing has changed.
Yep. All right, and we have one more from Janine at 52A Rutland, asking about the status of the engineering report and the work needed. We met with the engineers a couple weeks ago, had some concerns about the report, gave them some additional information, so they're fine tuning it, and we should have a draft any day now to review again.
Correct.
Okay, last one is Marie at 44 Harwood. Is it possible to send out the minutes of the HOA meetings after approval? We actually do. We put them on the website and the videos as well, right? Okay, yeah, we'll update the minutes. We do post the videos and everything to watch, but we'll update the minutes a little faster.
Okay. So that'll all be found on the portal then, right?
Yep.
Okay.
Anything else, Susie?
All right. Thank you. Seeing that, I'll close the public portion. And, do you have a comment? Okay, come on. Go ahead. Yeah, I know.
Gloria Gerard, 73A Winthrop. Just two questions on the parking.
Gloria, speak closer to the mic so we can hear you.
Okay, two questions about the parking. Number one, I disagree with the 12 inches from the curb. because 12 inches puts them out in the middle of the street. It shouldn't be more than 3 inches. And obviously, anybody who doesn't park
Let her speak.
within 3 inches, they never grew up in the city because you would get a ticket for that. My other one is, are you still charging for residents to park their cars up in the lot?
If you have more than 3 cars, if you want long-term parking, you do pay in the lot, yes.
How much are you charging?
I think it's $75,
75, used to be 50.
$50.
Yeah, 50 per month.
Now, are we going to have, will the restaurant be parking any of their trucks there?
Well,
Like the last time, where they parked 3 or 4 trucks and they weren't charged?
yeah.
If
Well,
you're not charging them. you
this
shouldn't
restaurant
char-
coming in will have no trucks.
Excuse me?
The new restaurant coming in will have no trucks.
Oh, no trucks. Okay.
No trucks.
All right. Okay, that's it. Thank you.
All right, thank you. All right. Somebody else? Okay.
Hi, my name is Kathy Oliveri. I live at 55C Winthrop. I got the raise on our HOAs, and from what I hear,
Can
we're
you speak
deep
closer
in-
to the mic?
I'm
It's not
sorry.
coming across.
We're deep into a lot of money, and how much money we're gonna dish out, more than what we've been dishing out every year. We get a raise. In 6 years I'm here, it's been awful. Every month, 3 to 4 months, 6 months, we get raised. I feel it's impossible. How long is this money gonna go on? How much more do we have to pay into the HOAs? Does anybody have an answer to me?
Well, I mean, your raises that you have been receiving this year was substantially lower than it's been for the last 2 or 3 before.
I don't think so.
Oh, yes, I know so. Yes, they have.
Okay, so how much more money we gonna get
Well,
raised
Well,
that we're in debt?
everything goes up every year
I
and
understand
everything
that,
gets
I
reflected on that.
Okay,
I mean,
understand.
we could close this building down and save you a ton of money. You want us to do that?
No, I don't want
of
you to
course
do
not. We
that.
don't want to do that. But everything costs money. Just to heat the building every year costs money. We have employees, we have to pay them. Every year, everything goes up. Nothing goes down. We don't get any invoices that go down. They
I
go
know.
up.
But what debt, how much of a debt are we in?
Well, we look for ways of saving money, and we did that with eliminating the late
nurse,
shift
right,
with the nurses. We've changed vendors to save money. We've changed attorneys to save money.
Right.
So we look at that stuff every year, and we do the best we can. But can I guarantee you that there'll never be a raise again? No, I can't.
No,
I
I'm not
absolutely
asking,
can't.
I'm asking how much of a debt are we in? The Winningham.
We're not in a debt per se. The biggest thing is the capital reserves, and
Oh,
that's
capital
why
reserve,
you've
right.
got such a larger increase this year because we're required now by state law to have sufficient funds in there to do these capital improvements.
Okay, okay.
So we've been underfunded forever, and now we have to step up and meet what the state is telling us.
And
So
what is
that's
that?
why you've seen that increase come
And
through.
what is that? Do you have an amount? Do you have an amount or no?
Well, they gave us, we could have raised it all up to the full amount in 1 year, which everyone would have hated, or they gave us a 3-year increment to try to get up to it. So
Which
we're,
is, you still
we're going in a slow phase.
Which is how much? Did you know or you don't know?
I don't. Kathy is not here tonight. I don't have
Right,
that number
right.
to
I was
give you.
gonna ask her, that's why.
But, it's more than we want to charge you, but we're required to charge you.
It
Because
is
we
what it
need
is.
to
I
have the funding
understand.
there.
I understand, but I just want
On
to
the
know.
condo side especially, because in a few years, not just the roofs, the siding, there's a lot of capital improvements that need to be done on 40-year-old buildings.
Yeah. Just a question. I wanted to know how much we still have to put into this reserve.
We don't have a crystal ball. If you go online, look at the portal and view the video of the meeting we had on the budget, all of the questions you have now are answered in that conversation.
Okay.
These very questions were asked and answered in great detail. And that would be a best source of information to enhance your knowledge of what this area.
Good
Okay, thank
recommendation.
you.
Okay?
All righty, thank you.
All right.
Well, all right,
Yeah,
hold
Mike
on.
Boxer, to
All
Sherwood.
right, this will be the last one, Mike.
I didn't want to go out,
We need
leave
to
here
close the
without
meeting.
asking a question. The solar that we put on this building, which I had mentioned to the prior board a year before they installed it, because they said the building was facing the wrong direction. All of a sudden, it became available. I guess they turned the building around. How much money are we saving?
I can't give you an honest answer on that because there was a lot of unknowns once we came in. We are currently trying to figure out credits due to us,
Okay,
and we don't have a handle on that yet, but we've just retained the use of special consultants in that field, and they're working to get us our full credit. It may be as much as $30,000 a year. It may, I don't know yet. But whatever was supposed to have been done wasn't being done. So we're trying to figure it out. You know, all the people who had the answers that you to the questions you're asking are no longer here to ask. So
I know
we're
that.
trying to figure it out
I'm
on our
glad.
own.
Thanks.
All right, thank you.
I
Happy
make a
holidays.
motion, we close the Greenbriar meeting.
All right. Second, I make a motion to close. Before I close it, I want to wish everyone who's in the room here and on Zoom a very happy Merry Christmas and a happy Hanukkah. As he comes by, we will not be seeing you again until January in the new year. So everyone have a safe holiday season, and we'll see you again here next year. Thank you. Anyone, motion to close on our side? Motion by Jay, closed by, second by Joe. Okay. Thank you all. Thank you for coming.